Alrighty. All right. Hello, and welcome to my live stream, my love stream today. Gonna be jamming about, well, first off, I'm opening this up for anybody that has questions about Fae, Material Girl in a Mystical World, the art of writing your own fairy tale. This is the Mercury edition of Star Disco. This is one of my absolute favorite programs within the Star Disco brand. It's near and dear to my heart for many reasons. To me, it's like one of the not so secrets of the cosmos, of nature, that's naturally woven into the cycles of nature for balance, for healing, for equilibrium, for bringing you into greater states of awareness, greater states of personal satisfaction, success, health, clarity, fulfillment, and evolution. I've spoken about this over and over again, that you 96% of people, they've done tests and studies that 96% of people, whenever they want and or desire to make some sort of lasting change in their life, that only 4% of people actually do and create this in their life. Only 4%. And I've shared many times, and I'll continue to share again, one of the reasons that is because it takes a tremendous amount of energy and focus to rewire the ingrained thought patterns within the brain, number one. Number two is that, from when we don't have awareness, people tend to rely solely upon only what brings them reward and satisfaction. Meaning that people tend to get addicted to only doing the activities that are going to bring them instant reward, instant satisfaction, instant results. And there's a whole science to the biology behind this, but because of that, limiting behavior, meaning where if you're only choosing to do activities that bring you instant gratification, you're not going to get very much success and or long-term satisfaction and pleasure in your life, because you're going about things backwards. You're going about things, from this place of needing to get somewhere. I need to get over there in order to gain satisfaction right now. I need to, I can only get satisfaction, or I can only feel success when I've done this thing. And this has everything to do with dopamine levels. Dopamine being that neuromodulator that, is all about pleasure and reward. And we're living in a time and an age, especially with our smartphones, where, getting instant satisfaction, getting instant pleasure, getting instant results comes from this smartphone, and other things in our life. Hey, what's up, Uncle Gogo? And what that actually does is it's it is robbing people essentially from building things, from going after things, from actually gaining a sense of well-being and a sense of personal, like, I'm choosing to be this kind of person, and I'm gaining satisfaction and success from who I'm choosing to be because of the long-term results of this thing, because of how it's creating a new identity that is totally independent from, oh, I'm going to get this reward. Meaning, I'm only allowing myself to receive pleasure and joy and satisfaction, from some external source, instead of because this is who I'm choosing to be, and everything that I desire and require is already available inside of me. So this is an issue, and this is something that is happening inside of your body. This isn't just like, yes, I mean, these are things that are happening within the brain, but it's woven also within the rest of the cells within your body. And so these going in and actually rewiring these circuits, cleansing out and detoxifying these chemical compounds, these chemical cocktails, these emotional states that we are creating by the patterns and the behaviors and the habits that we are engaging in every day, is what we're going to be delving into within Fae. Material Girl in a Mystical World, the art of writing your own fairy tale. This is a very heavily focused on detoxification, and creating what I call the white canvas, the clean canvas. And for any artists that are tuning in, I specifically work with artists, entrepreneurs, creatives, athletes as well. There is nothing, that feeling of having something fresh, of having something new, of being able to have that clean slate, where it's like, oh, you can create anything, right? It's like that feeling of infinite potential and infinite possibility of the white canvas is what this Mercury retrograde, the way that I work with it, is all about creating and consciously cultivating. So it's really exciting, because it is, if you've been feeling lacking motivation, if you're struggling with feeling motivated, if you're feeling unclear, unsure, like I'm just not getting the sense of same reward, or I don't even have the drive, to do the things that I once, or lacking inspiration. This is what this is all about. So this is something that I personally use this is just how I roll in my life. And this is something that, like I said, this is something of an occult nature, meaning that this is something that has been around for, that the ancient magicians and sorcerers and alchemists and astrologers have been using for thousands and thousands of years, but because it isn't of an occult nature, meaning it's something that has been hidden from the masses, is, I believe, one of the reasons, and I know, I've seen this, I've witnessed this, just as I have been observing humanity, and I've been observing my clients for the past 15 years, as I was sharing in another live stream, is that, over 15 years ago, when I got my first, job out of acupuncture school, I saw over 100 patients easily every single week for years. And so I've gained a lot of experience through working with lots and lots of people and witnessing their behaviors and witnessing their emotional patterns and how that, is rooted in the body and it's all one. And as I started implementing this knowledge and these habits and this gnosis of the natural cycles of nature, including the cosmos, is that this is something that has been hidden from the masses. I'm not going to get into that subject for whatever reason that may be done, but it's something that, this is part of what the Age of Aquarius is all about, is about awakening people to information that has been hidden. All sorts of information, for our personal evolution. This is what the Age of Aquarius is about. So, through the mysteries of the alchemical Mercury synodic cycle, this is a 40-day cycle that I take people on adventures and journey through to alchemize their body, to alchemize their mind, to alchemize their soul. Alchemy being the process of turning the lead and or the shit of your life to gold. And this is something that you can use over and over and over again. So this is something that I personally bet on in my life. It's something that I look forward to. It's not ever anything that I'm like, oh, fuck, this is happening again. Like, oh, it's Mercury retrograde season. That means I gotta blah, blah, blah. It's like, no. Like, I get super psyched and excited about this because of all of the things that I just mentioned. And because another reason that I attribute even my marriage, that I have been able to continually alchemize and fall deeper and deeper in love with not only, my husband, myself, and our relationship, is because of working with these Mercury retrograde cycles and, significant rituals and ceremony and initiations that were begun during the Mercury retrograde cycle, so that every time that cycle comes up again, there's an opportunity for me to renew and regenerate this aspect of my life. And it's what I attribute one of the reasons why I've been able to continually experience things in my relationship, and not just my relationship, but I'm just giving you this as one example of things that so many people said were impossible, that so many people were like, oh my God, like that's never going to change, it's never going to get better, blah, 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 blah. And that just simply, I have defied the odds over and over again with that through using these tools and these awarenesses brought to me from astrology, magic, and particularly the Mercury retrograde cycle. So Faye is focused on, first of all, it is definitely working a lot with the earth element. Faye, is the elementals of the earth, of specifically the flora and to a lesser degree the fauna, but specifically the plant kingdom. The ecology of planet Earth that we're living on, and understanding these processes of actually what creates prosperity. The natural state of the earth is one of abundance, where the birds and the bees and the pollination and making honey and the abundance and the fruit that exists naturally in earth is also, when we use that system and we pay attention to that as an overlay to how we cultivate business and we cultivate relationships, is how we experience true, sustainable, healthy prosperity in our life. The total opposite of the system that, the systems of corruption and big business and pharma and the government that now is crumbling, is because we have gotten away from the very natural cycles of nature. And so that is a big focus of this program, is to attune ourselves back to the ways of nature, working with nature and in a very intimate way. So these are things, specific rituals and ceremonies and magic that I will be engaging and leading everybody in this program through the magic that is naturally available in nature, and using that to bring that to your business, bringing that to your lifestyle, to how you actually cultivate your career, your business, your purpose in life. And that's why it's for the curious creatrix who desires to, create the sustainable lifestyle that is like the bees making money, honey. Okay, I mean, this is something that's a natural mechanism that is in nature, and we get access to this, but it's something that, because of the culture that we live in and that we've been indoctrinated into, has in essence been divorced from many people. So this is what we're going to be going into. So this is appropriate for anybody that wants to change and alchemize, first of all, their health. It's the earth element. Like, even though this Mercury retrograde is happening in an air sign, the astrology and Chinese 5-element theory is not a perfect crossover. So it's, first of all, for anybody who is into astrology, and also into the elements of nature and or Chinese medicine and the 5-element theory, is that it is not a perfect translatable system. You really do need to understand the mechanics and understand the elements very, very well in order to translate these two systems. And so that's something that you will be learning, and that I will be delving into and teaching you inside of, first of all, the whole Star Disco brand, but specifically within, Fae, material girl in a mystical world. And so working, like, the earth element is all about the material, the physical world, hence material girl. So it is about money and health specifically. Really, if you're wanting to shapeshift your body, I talk a lot about, that's something that I'm going to be going much deeper into, is the art of shapeshifting, what that actually means, how to shapeshift, meaning changing the shape of your body, changing the shape of your life, changing the shape of your business. If you want to change something, you shapeshift. Okay, so we're going to be going very deeply into that, how I, very easily and effortlessly am able to shapeshift my body. And how I have been able to revolutionize my business, meaning taking my business from a very brick and mortar, meaning transferring success. Like, I highly believe that success is transferable, meaning if you are able to experience success in one area of your life, that it's very easy to take the way that you experience success in that area of your life and translate it into another area of your life. But that means that you have to be willing to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And this is all what Mercury rules over. So we'll be going into that as well, because the way that you do one thing is the way that you do everything once you become aware of that. So I will be sharing some of these tools and techniques and just perspectives inside of this program. So radically changing your health, generating more and more energy, more and more levels of energy to be able to work, the capacity to be able to produce and or just experience well-being that is not attached or associated to, meaning where you're not, your sense of value, your sense of worthiness is independent to how much you're producing or not producing. Okay, that's not what this is about. However, bringing value to the world, is something that's really important for you to know and get very clear on when it comes to transmitting your message, when it comes to being marketing, communication, sales, all of these other things. Sales is definitely one of the the gifts of Gemini and the gifts of Mercury medicine. So I'm going to be delving into that, and sales is something that, I have had so much experience in my life from in many different areas, like, when do I want to go into this right now? Not really. I don't feel like I want to, like, share with you guys, like, like, meaning sharing with you guys my background in sales and why, I feel that I even have, like, I don't need to prove myself, let's put it that way, as far as, cancel clear that, because I'm not doing that. However, it's there. So, anybody have questions about that? If you're catching this live or on the replay, hashtag replay, so that I can connect with you, answer any questions that you have about that. Hello, what is up? Kristen is in the house. What's going on, beautiful? I've been riffing about, I'm opening this up right now for, I've Q&A on Faye, Material Girl in a Mystical World. I've been sharing, how this program is different from any of the past Mercury Retrograde programs, and, and just sharing with people about the focus of this program, how this focus is really a lot about working with the earth element, meaning this is about the material realm, hence Material Girl in a Mystical World. It's really, changing your relationship to your health, and how your health actually has a direct influence on your capacity to manifest, your capacity to create fruit, meaning bring an idea to the complete resolution of actually, experiencing the fruit on the tree, being able to harvest and eat from the fruit of the dream seeds and whatever manifestations that you're putting into effect has a direct correlation to your physical health, your mind as well, and the relationship between your mind and your body. So this, this round of Star Disco is going to be heavily focused on detoxification because of what is happening specifically in the territory of Gemini. Gemini is the sign of sales. It is all about being able to sell things. It's all about being able to communicate, to create vast networks, and your message, to transmit your message, focus, the ability to focus, the ability to experience. I went into, all about the big issue or challenge that I am seeing with humanity is that, people tend to avoid doing things that don't give them instant satisfaction, right? Meaning that people are much less likely to actually be doing things that don't bring them a sense of instant satisfaction and results, tangible results, because they're attaching satisfaction to an end result. Meaning, like, I'm only allowing myself to get pleasure and satisfaction from some reward in the future. So I spoke about that in the earlier part of the live stream. So if you're just tuning in now, I highly recommend going back and watching this from the beginning. But I will say this again, is that so many people are actually robbing themselves because they're focused on they're focused on, instead of enjoying the journey, instead of really, really, really reaping the rewards and the satisfaction and being able to taste the sweetness of their life right now in the present moment, they're waiting till, they get the sale, or they're waiting till the money is in the bank account, or they're waiting till they find the one, or they're waiting till they get the orgasm, instead of actually enjoying things in the present moment. And there's a lot of reasons why this is happening. It's not only is it a cultural thing, it's also a physiological and a biological thing. And so these are what we will be actively detoxifying and rewriting the actual chemical cocktails, meaning the chemical, and this is why addiction is a thing. This is why people get addicted to emotional states. This is why people get addicted to all sorts of things, is because of this. So this is what we're going to be really wiping the slate clean, something that you're really going to love. I do as an artist, as I spoke about this concept of the white canvas, of actually creating the white canvas, this ability to cultivate the feeling of having the clean slate. Because when we, as an artist, one of the best feelings is that ability to start fresh. It's like, I have this white canvas to create and to dream. And the reason why, people lack inspiration, or the reason why people have a hard time connecting to their motivation or tapping into their focus and their will drive, their willpower to actually go out, and go after what they want, is because of this, is because of carrying past baggage with them, and how this is in the body. This is also in the brain. And it's a big time happening right now in our culture because of the crumbling that is happening within our socioeconomic system. The fact that there's this huge structure that has been created, but meanwhile we're all living and existing in the fact that it's crumbling, and we're living and breathing on a daily basis in the not even the after effects, because it's still happening, that we're almost being auto intoxicated, and the trauma like on a daily basis, living and breathing within toxic, traumatic states, that it's very challenging to access this place of clean slate energy, or freshness and renewness, because we're swimming in this type of toxic fishbowl of culture, of modern culture. Yeah, and so this is what we're going to be cultivating inside of Faye, is being able to consciously and deliberately at will cultivate this white canvas slate. And so this is excellent for anybody who is experiencing either, they're lacking motivation, or it's just like, I don't know what I even have the energy and or the drive, the focus and the willpower to go. And because here's the fact of the matter is whenever we have a desire to go beyond, to evolve, to go beyond where we have been, we have to break with the past. We have to choose to leave the comfort and the safety of our home, whatever our emotional home is. And we can even look at this as just going out to our job, right? If we're leaving our house, if we don't, I'm just using this as an example, like the actual process of leaving your home and going out into the wild, right? To forage and to find resources and to cultivate, going out into the marketplace to buy and sell things, right? Like that takes energy. And this is woven into the dopamine, like the whole dopamine system is something that is really like, it's a whole thing that we're going to be going into within Faye. But this is a reason why a lot of people lack motivation, or they only, they don't, it's like a lot of people, I've been seeing this as I've been witnessing across the board, a lot of people they're having challenges in like, lacking the inspiration to, like, the things that used to bring them satisfaction, the things that used to bring them reward or pleasure aren't bringing them that anymore. And that's because of everything that I've been talking about. And, trauma, as well as dopamine, and all of the chemical cocktails that are happening. Again, this is why I'm saying that this isn't just a mindset thing. This is something that is a systemic thing that has to be addressed in order to experience this next potential of evolution that we're all on. And I have been seeing this and I've been talking about this now for not quite a year, but since definitely last year, in November, is everything that's happening in the sign of Gemini. Gemini being the sign of excitement and thrill and pleasure and reward, and getting, like, when we get pleasure and reward, it's from the exchange of something, and sales and money. And because a lot of people get pleasure from making money. Raise your hand, let me know in the comments if you've ever made money, and you just from making money, you're not even spending the money, you're not even doing anything with the money, but just from making money, you get this sense of pleasure. And then, then it's like you have to get more and more money in order to get that same amount of pleasure. Let me know in the comments if you resonate with that. Yeah, and so this has everything to do with this mechanism that I'm speaking of, and this is actually what is part of the reason that there is corruption and there is what I call greed. And what I mean by greed is the, not that there's anything wrong with wanting more and desiring more, but where it's not done from a sustainable place, meaning the desire for more that actually isn't going back into the system. And what I mean by that is, where a company or a business just wants more and more and more, but it's not giving more to the community. It's not actually a system of prosperity. And so we see this in a lot of the big businesses. We're seeing this in government. We're seeing this, in some, very wealthy billionaire, multimillionaire people, where it's just this hunger for more and more and more, but it's not done in balance, equilibrium, and sustainability for why. It's this mechanism. And so this is what we're going to be, and this is a big thing that I stand for, in being a part of the socioeconomic revolution for our world. And so, part of this I have delved into unicorn, in the past Mercury retrograde programs that I have been, hosting and working with my community on. And so this is the next evolution of that, is really changing this on a DNA level, changing and rewriting those codes within our DNA as a species, so that we can still experience the pleasure and the joy and the satisfaction from creating the life of our dreams and building a business that we love and that is very sustainable and that brings us a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction and success, but in a way that is sustainable. But in order to do that, we really do have to alchemize the dopamine mechanism within with the dopamine biofeedback mechanism within our physiology. And the beautiful thing about that is that it is changeable. I mean, that is the nature of human beings. I mean, if we look at, this is something that, I mean, just go back to like hunter-gatherer, like before cell phones, before technology, before all of these things. This is something that is woven on in a very subconscious level. It is how our species actually has evolved, is through the dopamine biofeedback system. So we don't want to get rid of it, but we are at a place within our evolution where it does have to alchemize and evolve if we are going to transcend this pattern of the more is more and materialism just for the sake of materialism, and or, you know, externally seeking like the reward and pleasure things, meaning where we are disconnected from the joy of the journey and just the joy of the adventure, versus I'm only going to be satisfied when this happens, meaning I only get to experience joy and satisfaction when I make the sale, when I make $10,000, when I make $1 million, when I get the man, all of those different things. And this is that whole mechanism is woven into it's not just the dopamine system, it's also this is the endocrine system. And what a lot of people, the beauty of the Gemini energy, the beauty of the Mercurial energy is all about hormones, neurotransmitters. So this is what we're going to be actually alchemizing. This is how this program differs from the past versions of the Mercury edition. Is it's going to be very physically based, very working with, and because it's called Fae, right? It's really getting back into nature. I have been given a mission. Recently, I've been sharing this with you guys who've been following me on my journey. You know, the reason why I went to Hawaii is because I was getting very clear guidance that I needed to really delve back into the roots of this planet, really start cultivating in a much deeper way than I ever have before the relationship between the Fae, and what I mean by that is the elementals, the fairy kingdom, the flora and the fauna, and us as human beings. It is, and that's why this program is called Material Girl in the Mystical World. This is where the mystical element comes in. And so in the realm of astro magic, the rituals and the practices and the ceremonies done in nature and with the botanicals, this is what we're going to be going into that we did not do as much. And I actually didn't even do, I did, but to a lesser extent than what is the intention and what we will be doing in this program from the last Fae that I did last year. But definitely from Unicorn Legacy because of this, because first of all, it's in the sign of Gemini, which is, even though, and I spoke about this in the beginning. So if, like I said, if you're just getting on here later, go and watch this from the beginning, is that even though Gemini is an air sign, Gemini energy is also very earthy because it has to do with intention and how we cultivate our intention, how we actually cultivate the path to manifesting what it is that we intend upon through our focus. And the amount of energy that we have, how much energy that we're able to generate within our body is how we bring our manifestations to the material realm. And it has everything to do with your physical health. So any questions that you have about that? I wanted to jam about the Johnny Depp situation. And if you guys do have questions, just go ahead and pop them in the comments. And I'm just going to keep rolling because I got to go get my babies from school at 2 o'clock. But I'm going to just tap a little bit into this whole Johnny Depp situation because Johnny Depp is a Gemini, okay? And so one thing that I just love and I'm so grateful for famous people and that I find very interesting and is that famous people selflessly allow us to see the collective on a grand scale, what's happening inside of us on an individual level. I'm going to say that again. Because they're famous, when we really observe what's happening with famous people, we can use that as a mirror, as a way of what's really happening, but what a lot of people may not be talking about. And this is a very Gemini thing, by the way. A Gemini concept is to see and notice really what's happening to people on an individual level and what's happening in the collective by witnessing famous people. Hey, Jennifer is in the house. Okay, so I'm glad. I'm going to be tagging the rest of you guys. I need you guys to do this for me. Everybody who was in Unicorn Legacy. I'm so excited! I have finally completed your gifts that you guys have won. So some of you guys won specific things for within the programs, but everybody, please, just for ease, make it easier on me. I'm asking, like, if you don't want to do this, fine, but help a sister out. Help a sister out, please. Either email to me and or direct message me your correct and current shipping address because I am shipping out your gifts today on Mercury's day on Wednesday. Your gifts, your Star Disco gifts. So please do that for me. So Jennifer is in the house. So anyhow, coming back to here it is that we have this Gemini man allowing us to witness. For those of you who guys don't know what's going on with Johnny Depp, I mean, it's incredibly, that's why toxic masculinity and toxic, femininity, it's like now it's a buzzword. Why do you think that is? And this is why the bees, the buzzing in the bees, it's a very Gemini thing. It's what's happening in the airwaves, it's a popular thing. And this is just the fucking beginning, guys. This is the Gemini energy I've been telling you guys about. I've been telling you it's just the beginning. And the reason why we're able to see this is because Johnny Depp is a Gemini sun. He is the big spotlight of the sun. How he shines the biggest in the world is through that sun sign. We're all able to see what is really going to begin happening within the Gemini sphere. So we all have Gemini in our charts and in your lives, whether you have Gemini placements, Gemini rising, Gemini moon, Gemini Venus, Gemini anything, Mercury prominent positions. You all have Gemini somewhere in your chart, which means that area of your chart, beginning now until March of 2023, is going to just look at what's happening to Johnny Depp. That's all I have to say. Who else is, I haven't looked at Elon Musk's chart, which actually I'm really inspired. I'm going to go check that out now, especially because of the whole Twitter being purchased. Twitter is any social media, by the way, is a Gemini thing. So, Donald Trump is a Gemini sun. So we are in an election year. So Gemini also rules over politics and the relationship between the media and politics and how you can manipulate the masses via media to use people as commodities to buy and sell people as fucking commodities. So that's my Gemini man calling me right now, and I gotta go get my bambinos. I'm just like hinting at this, okay? But this is what we're delving very deeply into inside of Faye, which is the prep work for the Mars retrograde that is going to be happening this summer, and for months and months and months, like I said, until March 2023, in my next mastermind program, Harlequin the Huntress, which has been dropping in like beyond. So if you guys have questions about this, this was supposed to be a Q&A, you know, it still is. If you have questions, I will come back in and answer them. I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover about, you know, Johnny Depp. I did want to speak about it a little bit more, because it's also like, it's not just Johnny Depp, right? This is his relationship, his romantic relationship, the twins, the lovers. That's what Gemini is. It's the lovers. So this is why I've been wanting to be very clear with my community and with my people, is that this program, this isn't a money program, this isn't a health program, this isn't a relationship program. Gemini and what Mercury rules over, it's holistic, which means that this is going to alchemize every area of your life, not just your money, not just your health, not just your relationships. It's going to do it all. This is, and I know that might be like a big thing to say, but like I said before, the way you do one thing is the way that you do everything. So if you are seeking, you know, that you want to, you know, either devote and, you know, change, alchemize, explore those areas of your life, this is what we're going to be doing inside of, wow, I just saw this huge like iguana thing run across we're going to be doing inside of Faye. So I have totally rewired the mainframe. Number one, because I got bored. Number two, because I know the Mercury retrograde program like the back of my hand, which means because I have such intimate knowledge, it's something that I know how to do it with my hands tied behind my back. I'm able to shift it and change it and in the moment to make it work for me and to what I think is needed right now for people. And so I recently did that. I restructured the whole program. So this is going to be very intimate. There are only 7 spots available. So it's for a very small group of people. And the reason why I'm doing that is because, number one, that's the guidance that I got. And number two, because of the nature of the Pleiades. We're going to be working specifically with that star system, the Pleiades. And what else? So it's going to be very intimate, 40 days and 40 nights. If you have questions about that, reach out to me. Right now it is $14.44. There are payment plans available, and we begin on the 29th, right? Like, so that's day 1, and it's going to be for 40 days. So again, if you have any questions about this, or you know, anything that I've been riffing on, let me know in the comments. I'm going to go get my bambinos before I'm late for them. Yeah, and I'm doing great on time. I cannot believe this. I'm so proud of myself right now. You guys know how fucking long-winded I am, and I stuck to it. I am stopping at the delegated time. So I love you guys so much. I'll talk to you soon. And don't forget, please send me your updated shipping addresses either via email or direct message. Bye.